ताम योगमिति मन्यन्ते स्थिरामिन्द्रिय धारणाम अप्रमत्त इस्तदा भवति योगो हि प्रभावाप्यो। Anytime when all our sense organs along with mind become stable and they don't roam around here and there. How is that possible? That is possible with the help of pratyahara. And when our mind does not roam around many things, then our intellect get stabilized inside of ourselves. There are two aspects of our human being, Bahya Current and Anta Current. Bahya Current is when we are looking outside of ourselves. Anta Current is when the whole world we are not worried about, we get contented to our inner self. When our intellect get contented to your inner self, then you will see that all the vrittis of your mind start losing interest. That means seeing something doesn't interest you. That means hearing something does not interest you. What you get interested in is only about yourself, about your inner self. And this state, in case we are able to attain, then this state is called yoga. Yoga is not about doing all the exercises only. Yoga is about stabilizing your mind, putting it inside and getting connected to source. In case we are able to attain that situation, then only you can be called yogi, and then only the process in which we are passing through can be called yoga. And before we understand what all the inner self, what is the Anta Current, we know that there are 5 sense organs and 5 motor organs, with the help of what we experience the world and we make world experience ourselves. In case these 10 indriyas are not there, then experiencing the world, experiencing the universe inside of yourself is not possible. And those sense organs are hearing, seeing, smelling, touching and tasting. This is, apple is outside, you eat it, you taste it, then you are able to experience how apple is. You can also see the apple and understand how apple looks like. So experiencing the whole world outside of you is only possible with the help of sense organs. And with the help of motor organs, it is possible that you are able to take out whatever you have inside of yourself to the outside world. Till here, our inner self does not start. Our inner self has 4 tattvas. And those four tattvas are very important in our life, in spirituality. And those four tattvas are called Man, Buddhi, Chinta and Ahankar. That means mind, intellect, chitta and ego. Let us try and understand what these things are first. Mind is a beautiful thing present in you which does not allow you to remain stable even for a moment. It thinks about sankalpa, and the moment it thinks about sankalpa, it starts thinking about vikalpa. Whether I should do this or I should do this is the state of mind always. Whether I like this or like this. And that is why the whole problem comes in your life. You found out a handsome or a beautiful life partner, and the moment everything becomes alright, your mind starts thinking, oh, somebody could be even better than this. Or maybe if I wait another year, I'll be able to find something better. This something better is the activity of mind. It always remains in something better. You have nice food, rice is there in your plate, lentil is there in your plate, yogurt is there, everything is there. What you need, what your body needs. But mind still thinks, in case this could have been, the food could have been better. So this vritti, that whether this should be there or this should be there, is the vritti of mind which does not allow us to remain in peace ever. If mind was not there, peace could have always been there. So, Anta Current has four vrittis: mind, intellect, psyche and ego. Mind is the most difficult of them because it always tries to weigh, tries to compare, and in this comparison sometimes you compare yourself with yourself, and most of the times you compare yourself with others. Then what intellect is? Intellect is when you can decide something, then mind has got no role. As long as you are into either this or that, your mind is working. When you have decided, no way, come what may, this is what I should do, that is intellect. Okay, and it is called nischayatmak. That means anything what you formally decides is the work and act of your intellect. Then what psyche is? Psyche is something in your inner self you always want to research. That research vritti of your inner self is called psyche. And identification of yourself, I am so and so, I am the president, I am rich, I am intelligent. This identification is called ego. You have only four things inside of yourself. ego, and all these four things tries to always work outside of yourself and does not allow you to focus on your inner self. How does that happen? The moment I say, or anybody, you read in a book, a religious, spiritual book, that connection to God is your final goal. Immediately, the function of mind starts. What is an evidence whether God is there or not there? Have you ever seen? The moment you want to devote yourself to Source, to God, your mind immediately starts talking about Pramana. So now you have to understand that you have even more, like your inner self has got 4 vrittis. Now your mind has 5 different vrittis. And what those vrittis are, anything, the moment you want to decide on something, it immediately asks you Pramana. What is Pramana? Whether it is correct or not, whether you are thinking is right or not, mind always remains in duality. And the right and wrong is want to analyze, and because it want to analyze right and wrong, it always want you to find out the correct knowledge. The first vritti of the mind is to find out the correct knowledge with Pramana. What you can prove, what you can prove with evidences. It doesn't believe you. You say God is there. I don't believe. Okay. Then you have to prove it that, oh, world is there, and because of world is there, in case creation is there, then creator is bound to be there. And then several evidences, when you give it to your mind, then your mind may think, yes, God is there. So for everything, it's not only God, anything you want to do, it always tries to ask you evidences for whatever you are doing. And second vritti of your mind is viparyaya, incorrect knowledge. Mind takes the correct knowledge also, and mind misguides you also towards the viparyaya, towards the incorrect knowledge. It doesn't have capacity to always find out what the truth is. So it always tries to take us towards viparyaya, towards the incorrect knowledge. So it identifies the correct knowledge, and it also identifies the incorrect knowledge. Third vritti of your mind is imagination. And you want to buy a house, you start imagining. Our ashram should have 100 rooms, 2 rooms. Every room should be fitted with a jacuzzi. Nothing is there. There is nothing, but your imagination can take you to moon, to Mars, to universe, and it can make you travel anywhere, at any place, at any time. So the great function of mind is imagination. And from there, even dharana gets produced. Conceptualization comes from the imagination. And what is imagination? Imagination is also based on vikalpa. If not this, if not jacuzzi, maybe we can have just a bathtub. Okay, or maybe we can have some naturopathy instruments. So your imagination can also be called a fantasy. And your mind has got the capacity to fantasize, to imagine anything, whether it is real or not real. Then the fifth function of mind is to sleep. And what is sleeping? Sleeping, everybody of us thinks that we are sleeping. But when the state of consciousness are being defined, first stage is awakening, awake. Second is dreaming, and third is sleeping. Most of us remain in dreaming state and never sleep. We are closing our eyes, resting, but we start seeing the dreams. The sleep is the real sleep of the mind is when all your indriyas does not work. And all your indriyas, jnanendriyas and karmendriyas, sense organs and all motor organs, your hand not working, your feet not working, your legs not working. In case somebody touches you, it doesn't work. You are not able to see, you are not able to hear. When all your motor and sense organs along with mind goes to rest, that vritti of the mind is called sleep. Mind has got a fifth vritti, and that fifth vritti is to remember. And that is the most beautiful and the worst part of your mind. Both. You are able to remember. It is the most beautiful thing. You have done something in the past and you are able to remember for the whole life. But because you are able to remember, you are not able to live in the present moment. Living in the present moment is very important in your life. It is more important than anything else. And if you are able to remember, then only attachment and aversion comes in. Attachment is something what you have done nice, or something what has happened with you nice, and because of that you want to repeat the same thing again today in your life. I was very beautiful, but at 18, 20 years most of us are of course beautiful. When we reach 60, we cannot be that beautiful as we were in 18, 20, 30. And then what we do? We apply some hair dye so that we start looking like we were looking at 20 or 30. We try to apply some creams. And I don't know what all we human beings do to look younger. Why? Because something what you have experienced in the past and it is there present in your memory, you want to be like that always. This does not allow us to live in the present moment and keeps us always in the sadness. What is aversion? Something what has not happened good with you. You don't want to repeat the same thing in your life. A trauma. You don't want to. You don't want that trauma should come to you today. But because of this memory, it disturbs you every moment. Your mother, your father, somebody was not in a good state sometimes, was sick, and you are not able to lose the memory. And specifically when some of our parent has died, and we have seen that memory keeps coming to us. We also put a picture there. The moment we see the pictures, those adverse memories of my father's suffering immediately comes in our mind. And we don't want to bring it to the present moment. We fight, we struggle, but it comes in because of this memory. So, what I want to say, that it is attachment and aversion both which gives you sadness. The happy moment of the past as well as adverse moment of the past gives us sadness. What is the way to remain happy always? If we want to remain happy always, then we will have to stabilize our mind. And whatever vrittis it is doing, we will have to continuously train it, teach it, make it understand that no, don't go in the past, don't go also in the future. Past has passed, future has not yet come. Please remain in the present moment, here and now. Then all the mantras, all the yoga are for the purpose that you can live and remain in the present moment. If you can remain in the present moment, spirituality becomes very easy. Then you have to move from here and now. Otherwise, you are here and now, but your mind is in past. It is thinking about something which has happened 30 years back. So your physical presence is here and now, but your mental present is 30 years behind. So you have to work for 30 more years to bring yourself in the present state. And has written very beautiful thing in one sentence. He just wrote in one sentence, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. What? Yoga is nothing but abstracting the vrittis of your chitta, vrittis of your mind. What happens? Why it is needed? Because the chitta, the mind, and Anta Current as a whole I am talking about, all the four things what I have talked about, mind, intellect, psyche and ego. What they do, they come out of you. They don't remain inside. In case they remain inside, then there is not a problem. But they come out. And when they come out, they don't want to go in. They have come out from inside, but they don't want to go inside. And you start enjoying, suffering, struggling. It's not only enjoying that outside you are enjoying. Of course, when you are seeing the nature, you are enjoying maybe. You are seeing an accident, suffering. So, you are enjoying, suffering, struggling outside of yourself. In case somehow we can stabilize our mind, then outside and inside will become the same. There would be no difference between inside and the outside. Your public life and your private life will become one. And that is why the stabilizing of mind, stability of mind is the great thing you can achieve in your life. It helps you to keep your body healthy. It helps you to move on the path of spirituality. And it helps you in, I say, everything. If you are able to stabilize your mind, it helps you in everything. And why it helps you? Because in reality, you are not outside of yourself. In reality, you are within you. So whatever the reality is, in case you are able to attain that, of course it will make you happy and will make you to live in bliss. What is outside? Outside is nothing but the reflection of your inner self. And I often say, whatever you experience outside is nothing but what you have inside of yourself. If you have hatred, you are able to see hatred. If you have love, you are able to see love. If you have an envious nature, you will be able to see envious nature. If you have jealousy, you will be able to see jealousy. Everything what you have inside of yourself, you will be able to see outside of yourself. And that is why one very important thing I want to tell you. Most of us are not able to see a nice, beautiful world as it is. What they say and what they experience and see, the whole world is bad. No one is good. President of this country is useless. And this is going to hell. We are passing through a very rough phase. So this problem, that problem, you always think only about the problems in the outside world because you are full of problems. When you are not full of problems, then you see beautiful world. You see green leaves. You see birds speaking. You know, one of these days, a visitor, he was disturbed by the beautiful sound of birds. And he started saying, "Oh, your place makes so much of noise. I said, from where this noise comes in? So birds. Birds speak a lot. Birds are singing, my dear friend. They are not making noise. But what is the problem? This noise is present within us, which is not allowing you to experience the beautiful singing of the birds. This inner self is very important. And how can it be controlled? How can it be made really beautiful? Because the moment you make it beautiful, bliss is there. You are able to attain bliss at that moment itself. The moment your mind gets calm, I think I remember one of the quote, bliss is attained by calming your mind, by removing your passions, and by detaching from the results of your actions. Now, how can we do that? It's a very important question. Every one of us by this time knows that problem area is mind. But how can we find the solution? So, mind has many vrittis, mind has most of the tattvas involved with it, because ego itself has got 20 tattvas. 36 tattvas life is based on. Out of that, in case you do not have ego, 20 gets finished immediately. And that is why most of our speeches are based on be ego free, be ego free, be ego free, be ego free. Because you don't know what you will gain when you become ego free. Out of 36, 20 gets stable immediately. And mind, how can it get stabilized? For understanding that, you have to understand who controls your mind. Of course, I is the answer always. But try to understand, go a little deep and answer honestly. Do you control your mind? No. Then rather I would say your mind controls you. We always say, yes, my mind is in my control. Not true. You are in the control of your mind. Then how can mind be controlled? Mind has two bosses. If you work, you always have one boss. And if you do not work, then also somebody is always your boss. Mind has two bosses, and those two bosses are, one is the breathing, and second is the result. So if you want to control your mind, it can only be controlled by two ways. Third doesn't exist. And those two ways are by not worrying about the results ever. Whatever is happening in the life, take it as it is. And second way of controlling your mind, of stabilizing your mind, is breathing. Chale vate chale chittam nischale nischlam bhavet. As long as your air is coming and going, your mind is also coming and going. When you stop your breath by performing the kumbhak, by holding your breath, the moment you hold your breath, your mind is also held at one place. So continuously practicing the pranayama, and when I say pranayama, my emphasis is always on kumbhak area. Holding the breath is pranayama. Inhaling and exhaling are the part of it. But holding the breath for as long as you can and putting your breath up in a very slow motion. Inhale slowly, hold and exhale slowly. You will be able to see that your mind starts withdrawing from the world, and it will try to start concentrating on your inner self. Then it will not bother you how you were looking 18 years back. Otherwise, we always try to see our picture, how we were looking 20 years back. We are not worried about today. We were worried when we had a nice moments, a nice look. You always look nice. You just need to change your perception that you have grace now, you have maturity now. So in case we change our perception, and this perception can be changed by making your mind stable at one place. And for that, two things you need to do: not to worry about the results and breathe slowly. If you do these two things, Anta Current starts changing, inner self starts changing, and you start experiencing the bliss everywhere in the universe. You start experiencing yourself in every human beings, and that is what you truly are. Thank you so much.